All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Takes from the Lakes podcast. I'm James, joined by probably one of my more favorite co-hosts. I've worked with Nash. We're here for the yearly, I guess you could say, iconic March Madness preview. We had the first playing game today, Alabama State and St. Francis, right? Crazy ending. Alabama State won on a Hail Mary, pretty much. Yeah, we're getting right into the thick of things. I think UNC is playing right now, UNC SDSU.
Yeah.
But Nash, go ahead.
Alabama State started us off. UNC's looked. I've got the game up right now.
Yeah.
UNC looks solid, but they made their first 4 threes and
Really?
they're fraudulent. So they'll cool off.
Yeah. Wow. 4, they're starting 5. 1 for 1 from 3. Huh.
Yeah.
Well,
And obviously UNC has the talent, but they just aren't good. So
yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, it's one of the most exciting times of the year. We're gonna talk exclusively bracketology today. Now, I'm gonna guess that I've spent a little more time this year, just because I know James has been very busy.
Yep. I tried my best. I've tried the past week. I've definitely upped my game in preparation. In terms of research and all that, but I will let you take the reins per usual.
That's the great thing about brackets is, somebody can not know anything about basketball and still do better than me.
Exactly.
Because I know more ball than anybody else in the entire world.
In the world,
Yeah.
In the universe. But didn't we literally finish like last and second to last?
Yeah, we were like last 2.
We were the bottom 2 in the Takes Bracket Challenge last year. It was, oh my God.
Which is why I have to get a perfect bracket this year.
Yeah, of course.
And this year I filled out a bunch, but I'm gonna delete them all. So I'm sticking to 1.
Really?
Last year I did so many and it just didn't hit the same. Like I'd rather my bracket be trash completely than like have all these different ones and just like I don't know. I think as a true fan I need to go back to just doing 1. But let us know, listeners, what you think about that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of like pick what you think is gonna happen. Pick one immediately without any research. Do research and then do what you think is gonna happen, and then do what you want to see.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I have one too that like is basically the exact same, but I have Kansas winning because it feels disingenuous to me, like not to, just because I'm like a huge UNC cannot miss. But yeah, I mean, it just. I think KU actually has a pretty easy path, but they're not making it past the Elite 8.
Yeah. Who do they? Who are they second round? We'll get into it, but who are they? Really quick.
St. John's. And I'll get into why I think that's
okay. Yeah, we'll save it. But yeah. But we have the bracket pulled up on the screen. So those listening on Spotify, if you want a visual representation, go ahead and tune into the YouTube at Takesman Lakes Pod, I think, or just whatever. Look up Takesman Lakes.
Yeah.
Can you move like that sidebar so it's like we can see the logos, perhaps, or like zoom out or something? There we go. There we go. Nice. All right. But yes, we do have the bracket pulled up, so go ahead and pull up the YouTube and check it out. But I think we'll just get right into it. We'll start with the South region. Alabama, Michigan State are the not Alabama. Auburn and Michigan State are the 1 and 2.
Iowa State. Dealing with some injuries. They're the number 3.
Gilbert.
A&M, one of the most inefficient teams in the country. The Force. And then the most intriguing game for most is Michigan UC San Diego.
Yeah.
Although I've seen the TikToks where it's like me looking for 3 hours at Louisville versus Creighton. But anyway,
I think those Louisville, Creighton, and Michigan UC San Diego might be the 2 hardest for me. I don't know. We'll get into it once I look at all the games. But like I was watching UC San Diego like in their conference championship against UC Irvine. I was like, this team like kind of rocks. But then I like Michigan too, and of course they play each other. It happens every year with like a mid major that I like. But go ahead.
And as far as like systems for making picks go, I typically use a combination of like Ken Palm and the net, mixed with like matchups. Like I typically go in on teams that can shoot threes real well. Or like teams that have an identity as far as the pace of the game. Because I feel like if you can throw off the pace of another team, that completely plays to your advantage.
Yeah.
But first, I mean, Auburn is just far too talented for Alabama State, obviously. And
Hmm.
I think when picking a bracket, it's just wait, like, it's so likely that a one seed is gonna make the Elite Eight or Final Four that
Yeah.
like picking a 16 seed to beat them, like even though it's fun, just like you probably idiot.
Yeah. You can do it in the troll bracket.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't spend too much time in that. But
Um,
we briefly mentioned it. Louisville, Creighton.
yeah.
Louisville, what were they? 18-2 in the ACC, right? Obviously made the chip game, lost to Duke without Cooper
Yeah.
Flag.
So
But
I
go
mean,
ahead.
Louisville, their head coach is not too happy that they were an 8 seed. A lot of
Yeah.
people think they got snubbed. They are they're pretty high in the net, but they're 23rd in the in Ken Palm, which
Yeah.
is higher than the 6 seed BYU,
5 seed
5 seed
Michigan.
Michigan, 6 seed Mississippi,
Yeah.
higher than 3 5 seeds. I
Hmm.
mean, so they're really solid. They have a lot of different guys. Rain Smith is one of the best shooters in the country.
They shoot the through ball like
Um,
crazy.
yeah, they shoot the three ball like crazy.
Yeah.
Who's their leading scorer? I'm blanking on his name. He's got
Is
big
it
old
Chucky Hepburn?
chompers. No, Chucky Hepburn is close. Chucky
Yeah.
Hepburn is also a gamer, big time in
Yeah.
the clutch.
Terrence Edwards barely
Oh,
has
Terrence
more.
Edwards.
Terrence Edwards
Yeah,
Jr. Yeah. Yeah, he's a dog.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
But then Creighton, I mean, they've beaten a lot of good teams. They've lost to some mediocre teams. They have a lot of vets. Ryan Kalkbrenner is an All-American the last 2 years, I think. Um,
Experience.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
I've been leaning Creighton more um in my brackets just because pretty much just because Kalkbrenner and they have an experienced team. They've been there.
yeah,
I guess Louisville still like you have Chucky Hepburn who
yeah.
Illinois made a decent run last year, right? Like they
No, he's Wisconsin.
oh that's right. I don't know why I thought he was Illinois, but
Big Ten kind of all the same.
yeah, exactly. But I remember him balling in the Big Ten tourney last year, so I've always liked him. But I've kind of just leaned towards Creighton because of Kalkbrenner. He's always kind of played well in the
Yeah.
tourney and stuff. So
We can go. I've been picking Louisville,
I've been pretty
just
much 50-50.
because I think they're so equal, or not equal. They're so underrated.
Hmm.
And then the teams like talent wise are equal, but Louisville's really had like a solid season.
Yeah,
And I think the Louisville resurgence is kind of fun. There's nothing really exciting
yeah,
about Creighton.
yeah.
But we can go.
Oh, let's
Who
go
who
Louisville. Let's go Louisville.
go Louisville.
Yeah,
Okay, so Michigan UC San Diego is one of the more popular upsets, which I think almost makes it like you feel like it's not going to happen.
it's like the McNeese game last year with
Yeah.
whoever they played. Who did they
Um,
play? Gonzaga. Yeah,
yeah. Um, but it's because Michigan 25th in Ken Palm, UC San Diego is 36th in Ken Palm
yeah,
as a 12 seed,
yeah. This is the
which is
first year
like
they're tourney eligible too, which is crazy.
yeah. And also like net rankings, I'm pretty sure UC San Diego is very high. Um, and they just have a lot of dogs. But the problem is height.
Yeah, they're tiny.
In my and Michigan has not only a 7 footer who's like a traditional post big, but Danny Wolf, who basically plays point guard for them and is 7 foot out of Yale.
Yeah, dude. The Vlad Golden Danny Wolf pick and roll is insane.
Bro, it's
Like that's
insane.
just yeah. But then again, like everyone says, like UCSD forces turnovers like crazy, and Michigan's kind of prone to that. So
Yeah.
that's probably gonna be the point they're gonna expose. What's the dude, their point guard who's like super good at like is it Tyler McGee? He
Oh,
gets
okay,
about
hold
12
on.
steals per game.
I'm trying not to like leave this tab. Wait, hold on. Check if I leave this tab if it stays up.
Okay,
Hold on.
yeah, it does.
So
Or,
you still see the
I see new tab.
bracket?
I see new tab.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
but anyways,
Yeah, so
yeah, I think
I'll
it's an
just
intriguing
I'll look at
game.
my yeah. Um it definitely is.
Hmm.
I think like the other thing with turnovers is like length. Again,
Yeah.
which like you're going against the Big Ten, like all these farm boys, big
Hmm.
athletic guys,
Yeah.
kind of prone to turnovers. I get that. First year head coach from FAU where they played pretty up tempo style.
Mm.
Um, but I think Michigan has won despite turning the ball over a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll
Let's go
see.
Michigan. They've been balling recently.
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
gonna be a really good game, but
Everybody's so down on Michigan too. Like,
which is kind of why
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. There's always
Um,
that one game that everyone swears the underdog's gonna win and they don't.
yeah. Um, I have one game like that, and it again kind of feels this, but we'll see it in the
Okay.
West bracket. But
Yeah.
Texas A&M and Yale is also another interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
So Texas A&M is like one of the most talented teams in the country. Wade Taylor. But Wade Taylor's also shooting 36% from the field this year,
Yeah.
which and like their whole team is crazy inefficient.
Yeah.
Um, and Yale, on the other hand, is not. They've got
Hulakitas.
Houlikitis.
Yep.
Um, he's a dog, and the Yale Michigan matchup, Danny Wolf facing his
Hmm.
former team, would be
I
pretty
didn't even think
sick.
about that. That's sick.
I haven't picked Yale like at all. Um, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Hulakitas, like, what did against Auburn last year? He had like 30, didn't he, in the first round? Like, he was hitting threes
Yeah,
left and right. So obviously,
yeah,
like, they've been there. They've been the underdog and beat, a high seed. I think what was Auburn, a 3? I had them
yeah,
winning the national championship. My
yeah,
main bracket.
and a lot of people they might have been a 4, but a lot of
Yeah.
people think that like oh like you've been here before, like kind of Loyola Chicago, like
Hmm.
consistent Cinderella. But then there's also a lot of Cinderellas that are one and done, and that's
Yeah,
like oh a
exactly.
reason why you should. So it's really anybody's guess.
Yeah.
Yale's metrics aren't great, but like they beat that Xavier Lee led team, Xavier Lee and
Hmm.
Caden Pierce from Princeton, who were like two dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Um,
fine to go A&M
yeah, all right, we can go A&M.
here.
We can keep it scratch.
Yeah, okay.
Um, I
This
think Ole
game
Miss,
though,
yeah, yeah.
go ahead.
No, no, no. I want to hear what you have to
I've
say.
kind of consistently been picking the UNC SDSU whichever team is going to win here. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really like Ole Miss that much. Then again, I don't really know too much entirely about them. I kind of think they might have been a little bit overseeded. I mean, they did like play all right in the SEC, which obviously was like the demon
yeah,
conference this year.
yeah,
But still, I think I don't know, just something about UNC. Like they haven't been playing well on paper, but then again, they're still up there in Ken Palm. What are they like 30 something? Yeah, 33.
yeah. They're pretty high in
Um,
the net for some, despite being 1-12 in quad one.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
it's a weird game. I think Ole Miss deserves to be where they are.
Yeah.
Um, and it's no hate to the SEC.
Hmm.
Um, but a lot of times these conferences that are so good and have this like definitive style. The
Yeah.
SEC has a definitive style of athletic play. Um, and so I actually think if SDSU wins this game, they're a bigger threat to knock off Ole
Yeah.
Miss.
People
But
sleep
I
on
think
CSU.
I think regardless, it's not a good game for Ole Miss because
Hmm.
they are a pretty high octane offense. But I think they get out talented by UNC pretty much every day of the week.
Yeah.
Like UNC loses to teams that are either very disciplined or a Duke team that just is like more talented than them,
Insane.
which
Yeah.
there aren't very many teams that are that.
Hmm.
And by the way, they're smacking San Diego State
Yeah.
right now.
Well, they
It's
have
30, it's
16.
31-13.
Yeah. Okay. So we can probably expect it's going to be UNC.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm all right to
Um,
go UNC here.
yeah, I think so. If SDSU does pull this off, I think I still like them.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think either of those teams is beating Iowa State. So like it's kind of your preference.
Yeah.
Um,
But speaking of Iowa State,
yeah.
I don't think, also, we can probably pick up the pace a little bit. So just so we can
Okay.
get all games and kind of distribute it evenly. But yeah, obviously, I'm still fine to go Iowa State here, even without Gilbert. I think they'll be all right.
Yeah.
I
So
don't know.
he's out
The
for the
whole
tournament.
tourney, yeah,
Um, but
just
they just
sucks.
I mean, they're such a good defensive team. I think they're number 2 defensively in Ken Palm.
Mhm.
Um, let me just confirm that.
It's actually
I
9.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah, still top 10. I
10th
don't know.
overall. Yeah.
They're extremely solid on defense.
Hmm.
And like, yeah, the loss sucks of Keyshawn Gilbert. But I don't think like a lot of people saying that that makes them prone to lose to a Lipscomb team.
Yeah, no.
I just don't buy it
Yeah.
at all.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. They
Yeah.
they they like to grind games out anyway, and I don't think they'll miss Gilbert until it gets a little later on in the tournament.
Yeah.
That this 7-10 game is also interesting.
Yeah. I don't really know too much entirely about these teams, so you can kind of take it,
Yeah.
but
Okay. So the gist of it is Marquette's offense is like pretty high octane.
Cam Jones.
Um, but Donovan Dent at New Mexico and Junior. Oh wait, hold on, I can't. His name is they have a big. His name is Junior something. Used to play for Rick
Nelly
Pitino at
Jr.
Ion. Yeah, Nelly Junior Joseph. And he's really solid. New Mexico is very solid, but the Mount West and Big East are both bad.
Yeah.
And Shaka Smart hasn't had a great tourney resume of recent.
Hmm.
Um, I've kind of been going Cam Jones just based off him being really awesome.
Yeah.
But this is a really tough game.
New Mexico's
Uh,
fourth fastest team in the country.
yeah. And Marquette lights it up.
Yeah.
Uh, but again, I think Marquette's overrated. I think they should have been an 8 or a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's kind of really anybody. Michigan State is so good, so deep, so diverse in talents.
Yeah.
Um, I don't
Yeah, they
know.
have
I
like they distribute their scoring like super evenly. Like it's not just one guy.
Yeah, and it's not just like one guy goes off and then the next game somebody else goes off. It's
Hmm.
like everybody's got 8 to 10 every game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like they have two guys averaging 12, then 9, 8, 7, 7. I guess it's still not like crazy,
They also
but
just
they don't
don't
have like a
score
15-point
that
game.
much.
Yeah.
Um, Jace Richardson has really been coming on strong too, and it's
Hmm.
like it's not a team of freshmen, but like they have that one freshman. I don't know. I
Yeah.
like it. Now, do you want to stay in this region and then move away?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll blast through the reasons one
Yeah.
by
All
one.
right. So I like this Louisville upset. I've been picking that, but what
Really?
do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been too entirely high in Auburn. Obviously, they're not playing super well going into the tourney. And Louisville's
Yeah.
is one of those teams they can light it up from three and kind of just beat anybody. So
Yeah.
I don't really hate it at all. I'm fine to go
Yeah.
Louisville here.
All right. I also just dislike Bruce Pearl. I'm not gonna
Really?
lie.
You went to the same
Yeah.
high school as my dad.
Wow.
Shout out Sharon Nash.
Um, Shout out your dad for giving a presentation at OL that I
Oh
somehow
yeah.
missed.
Shout out JJ
Um,
Cummings. Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna pick Auburn here just for the sake of this matchup in the Elite Eight, that
Okay.
I want to talk about.
Okay.
Um, Michigan, Texas A&M. I think you got to go. Everybody's so low on Michigan. I feel like they're just bound, but and yet they're hot. Everybody's like, "Oh, Michigan's overrated."
Hmm.
Um,
I think a
People
lot
have
of people are
been,
just saying that because they're playing UC San
yeah,
Diego. They're
yeah.
trying to.
What? And people have been picking this as like the matchup where it's like the 12 and the 13 get out and then play each other. And I
Hmm.
think when that happens, it's just like
When was the last time
I
that
don't know.
happened? Like,
Oh, it happens like every year, but
let
it's like
12 and
not.
13 play?
Hold on. Or like two double-digit seeds will play each other.
Yeah, okay. Like
Um,
Kansas State versus FDU.
2024
Or what
or
did that have Kansas State played? Yeah.
let me look.
Yeah, it was like Kansas State, FDU, something like that. Like when Oregon State played some low seed team back in like 2021.
Okay. Um, it looks like it didn't happen last
You
year. Oh
do,
no,
yeah.
and NC State Oakland.
Yeah, NC State Oakland, 11-14.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah. I don't know. Texas A&M is just so inefficient.
Yeah.
Like, and they just shot Chuck.
Hmm.
So I like Michigan. I think
Okay.
it's pretty clear cut. This one, I don't know. We'll say it's UNC just because they're up 21 right now.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, they're just not Big 12.
Hmm.
That,
Yeah.
that that's a
Iowa
little
State's gonna
that's a little
suffocate them.
bias showing, but yeah, I mean, they're
Yeah.
just not.
Hmm.
And then same thing here. Like Marquette lights it up, but Michigan State is just unbelievably disciplined.
Yeah.
Um,
Didn't Michigan
and
State,
obvious,
or wasn't this a game last year or recently?
yeah, I think maybe 2 years, maybe when Michigan State ended up getting knocked out by, I think it was flipped though. I think
Yeah,
Michigan
Michigan
State
State was
was
a lower
a
seed. Yeah,
set
it
10 or
was.
7,
It was
and
actually
then
it was a
Michigan
seven
State went
versus
on to
two.
lose to Kansas State.
It was seven. Michigan
Yeah,
State was 7. Marquette was 2. Michigan State won. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Um, I don't know. What do you think?
I'm finding Michigan State.
Yeah, I've been going
I
Michigan
just think they're a
State.
really good all
I,
around team.
yeah, just thinking about that, that would be kind of a fun like flip up
Yeah.
for Marquette to win, but I just don't think Marquette's good.
Yeah.
So in this scenario, I don't know. I think Auburn just isn't. like Chad Baker Mazara is such a wild card.
Yeah, that dude's
Um,
insane.
and then like everybody else is just shooters around Janai Broom.
Mm-hmm.
And Janai Broom has been inconsistent too.
Yeah, yes.
It's like to me, they just don't have. I don't want to say they don't have talent, but like their most talented player is Tahad Pettiford. He comes off the bench.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm fine to
They just
go
like don't do much.
Michigan. Oh wow, Michigan State.
Yeah, that this is what I've been
That's
this
what
is
you
what I've been
wanted.
having.
Yeah.
Um, and like, or we can go Auburn. Just like
Nah, let's go Michigan.
hypothetically, Auburn I still loses that game, but this is really fun because it's impossible to beat a team three times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Michigan State has beat Michigan three times or twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also, and there was that fight at the end of the last game.
Yeah, with the senior night stuff.
So I would root for Michigan, but I think you got to take Michigan State here. They're just the
Mm.
better team.
Yeah, I like it.
Um,
All right, keep it moving.
this is the most interesting bracket or
Yeah,
region to
it
me.
is.
I love Norfolk State, win the MEAC every year. Good for them, but they're getting
Yeah.
trounced by
Mm-hmm.
Florida.
Give me
Um,
UConn. I don't think UConn's losing first round. I don't care like how not good they are this year.
okay. Yeah, I mean they're also like pretty low in some rankings, but so is Oklahoma.
Hmm.
Oklahoma's bad in Ken Palm and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, like let me pull it up.
Let's see.
So we've
The
been going a little
38.
quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
and
keep
then
moving. We
oh
got
wait,
like
no, this one's
35
close.
minutes.
Yeah, yeah, okay. We've been going for 35 minutes, or we
We have
haven't?
35. I've got to get out of here at like 10:40. I have this
Okay,
room until
cool.
10:45.
But yeah, I just I've been going Oklahoma because I love Jeremiah Fears, but I also
Yeah.
respect that like Dan Hurley has to at least
Hmm.
win one game.
I
Um,
would want to know like because Jeremiah Fears is the freshman, right?
yeah,
I would want to know how like freshman phenoms have performed in the tourney, like guys who have lit it up, like how they've actually done, like
yeah,
in
I don't
March
know.
Madness.
This freshman class is also insane.
Dude, it's so insane.
Um,
Um,
okay. So this is such a weird 5-12 because I again feel like Memphis is kind of just gonna like grind it out and out talent Colorado State. But the
mhm.
thing is with Memphis is that they're not good at all. They're
You don't think?
they're above 50 in both the net and Ken Palm.
That's true, yeah.
They're 50th. They're behind 10 seed, all of the 11 seeds, and
Yeah,
they're
wow.
behind Colorado State in both of those metrics.
Yeah, what? There's
Colorado State is
51 in
literally a better,
Kempom?
yeah, Colorado State is literally a better team than them.
Wow.
It's like not even an upset.
What's the spread on that game?
And Memphis is starting point guard Tyrese Hunter, who played for Texas last year, and we saw him play,
Yeah.
um, is hurt.
Hmm. Yeah. Good Colorado State.
Yeah. And I know Memphis is gonna win that game now because it's like
We
they've
just
got a chip
egged
on
it
their
on.
shoulder or whatever.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean you gotta go Colorado State
The
there.
spread is Colorado State by
Al-
2.5, by one and a
Also,
half.
Nick Clifford is a guard averaging like insane numbers. He gets a lot of rebounds too.
Yeah. Hmm.
Grand Canyon is one of my favorite teams because of Tyon Grant Foster, former Jayhawk.
Yeah.
Fought through a lot of adversity, but Maryland is
The
so
Crab
good.
Five.
The
Shout out the
what?
Crab. The Crab Five. That's what they call them. They're starting five.
At
Have you not heard that?
at at GCU?
No, no, Maryland, Maryland.
The Crab
It's
Five.
like, Maryland Crabs, all that stuff. It's because they
Yeah.
play like they barely play any bench guys. Like they the least bench, like one of the least bench points totals in college basketball. Let me see this.
Yeah. Angel Reese's brother's a demon.
Hmm.
Derek Queen, have you seen the thing where his coach said if he was a white European, he'd be going like top three in the draft?
No, I
Or like
haven't.
the number one overall pick.
That's crazy. Wait,
Um,
so okay, all five of their starters average 12 or more, and then the next guy averages four.
Yeesh. They're
And yeah,
so good though.
like they have five, their five starters average 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're so and like they haven't lost a game that wasn't on a their last four losses have been on buzzer beaters. Going back
Yeah.
like months when they lost to Northwestern on a buzzer beater.
Yeah.
It's like,
What has it been? Michigan, Michigan State, Northwestern, and somebody else.
yeah,
Forgetting.
like Nebraska or IU or
Hmm.
something.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway,
All right. Missouri
yeah, they're just
Drake.
so yeah. Missouri Drake. Okay, everybody picks Drake because of Bennett Sturts.
Hmm.
But first year head coach in
Missouri's
Division One.
really good.
Um,
15 in
and
Ken Palm.
Missouri's inconsistent, but they're offense is like what's their offense in Kempom? It's top 10,
Uh,
right?
6, yeah.
6. Yeah. They're just and their offense, Tamar Bates, Mark Mitchell, um, Caleb Grill, who's a lights out shooter.
Caleb Grill, yeah.
They just have everything it takes to beat Drake. I'm pretty sure Drake is also in Missouri too,
Is it?
which is
Oh, yeah, I
kind
think
of
so.
fun.
Let me see.
Where is
Des Moines, Des
Drake?
Moines. Close-ish.
Ah,
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
That's actually a bad take. Shout out the Midwest, but
Yeah. Yeah, I think Mizzou's gonna run all over them.
yeah.
Like it's gonna be high scoring, but I give it to them.
I'm gonna go Texas Tech
Yeah.
because,
JT
you
Toppin's
know,
insane.
yeah, and also just UNC Wilmington. I don't know, just bad. I get bad vibes from UNC
Mhm.
Wilmington.
All right, you talk
Uh,
about this
no, no, you
before.
you talk about this.
All right, I don't see Bill Self losing in the first round. Like obviously I know it's been a down year for Kansas. I mean, they're still up there, like they're 21st in Ken Palm, 11th overall defense, and then you look at who they play in Arkansas, they've underperformed all year. I guess 40th in Ken
Yeah,
Palm, not too bad.
Arkansas is hot right now, but
Yeah, that's true. But I don't think Bill Self's gonna lose in the first round. It's a
yeah,
sick coaching matchup though.
yeah.
Calipari and
We
him.
also they've been playing. Boogie Fland is back for Arkansas, and they've been playing better without him.
Hmm.
Um, and Adu Tiero is out or doubtful.
Yeah.
Um, plus I just think Calipari is not as good of a coach.
Yeah, I agree.
Been he's been cheat and like people are saying Bill Self is washed. We'll see next year when he has the number one recruit.
Hmm.
Um, but
All
yeah,
right,
I
talk about
mean,
the KU St. John's game.
okay, yeah. So St. John's is ranked as one of the best defenses in the country. Number one, maybe. Yeah. Could you tell me on
Yeah.
KenPom?
Yeah,
Number
they're
one?
number one, yeah.
Yeah. But if you go to their schedule, they have no ranked wins except for number 25 Marquette, who should not have been ranked.
Wow. It's like kind of crazy.
The Big East is trash. They have
Yeah.
like very few good wins. Most
Hmm.
of their quad one wins are like road games against mid-tier teams.
Hmm.
And like I just don't think like they have three guys, Zuby Ejiofor, who's a former Jayhawk. Um, also a sick coaching matchup, by the way.
Yeah.
Kadari Richmond and
Former
RJ
Syracuse
Luis.
Orange. Kadari.
Um, where was it that last year or 2 years ago?
Like might have been, I think it was two. Might have been three,
Yeah.
honestly. I don't know, but anyways.
Um, but yeah, I just don't think, especially they just don't have they haven't played a team all year as talented as KU.
Yeah.
And as good as their defense is, they're going to have to double Hunter Dickinson. And
Hmm.
if Dickinson is locked in and doesn't throw turnovers out of that double, then we'll win.
All right.
Um, so
No bias showing through right now.
I mean I can't pick KU to lose in the second round. Like I
They
hope you
lost
under
like to USC that one year by like 400.
no I understand. Like
Okay, this
obviously
isn't your bracket though. This is the takes from
we
Lake's
yeah,
bracket.
okay, so we can do you want to pick
Yeah,
St.
let's pick
John's?
St. John's.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, there we
Um
go.
all right.
All right, Florida, UConn. I give
Florida.
me Florida's
Florida.
too good. They're
Yeah,
so good, dude.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
insane.
yeah.
Best offense in the
All,
country,
Also,
right?
real quick, I want you to understand. I know KU could very well lose in the first round to Arkansas. Like
Hmm.
I'm not saying that, but
Yeah.
as a fan, like I can't
Yeah, yeah, I
bring
know.
myself to pick them.
Yeah.
Period.
So I
Um,
overruled you there. There we go. That's how we're operating here. All right.
are we allowed to cuss on the podcast now that like Passon did it?
Jeff Bassett broke the barrier.
Being
Do it
such a
at your own
shit, you're being
will.
such a shithead right now. Oh
There
my
we go.
gosh.
Anyways, Maryland.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Colorado State's good, but it's not a good matchup.
Hmm.
For the length of Maryland.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
Um,
Maybe Maryland's tired because they play so many players, or they play
mhm.
their starters so much. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think we'll be
Um,
fine. Doesn't Missouri have inconsistency problems?
Missouri does have inconsistency problems, but the
Yeah.
games are 2 days apart. Um,
Hmm.
and I've been trying to cut back on my Big 12 bias.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been picking Missouri.
Okay.
I feel
I'm
like
fine
the
with
Big
that.
12 bias always bites me in the butt. Um, but the problem with Texas Tech is their guard play isn't that good. They're led by a freshman. All of their guards are kind of the same to me. They're
Hmm.
kind of like I want to say like mini Trey Youngs, but not good. They look very confident.
Yeah.
They play very confident, but they just don't score well. They don't pass particularly well, and they don't have anybody who they can rely on except for JT Top.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
So I've been going. Plus, Missouri has Mark Mitchell, who matches up pretty
Hmm.
well with Toppin.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
Florida, Maryland.
I'd probably go Maryland. Or sorry, not Maryland,
You like
Florida.
you. Yeah,
Florida.
I've
Yeah.
been picking Florida. Maryland very well could win this game.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and then I like Mizzou. I just don't think St. John's any. I don't think
You
St.
think?
John's.
Yeah.
Let's say they do beat KU, and like again, I haven't really explored this possibility, but like, and you kind of want to fade the SEC, but
Hmm.
this is the one side of the bracket where I'm not because I
Yeah.
think like put Texas Tech here, I'm taking Texas Tech. Put Missouri there, I'm taking Missouri. Like it doesn't really
Okay.
matter.
Yeah.
This game right here, this game, the Missouri Tech game is a toss up for me, but I don't think St. John's beats either of them.
Okay.
And then
And then we'll
Florida,
have Florida.
obviously,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we have
Um,
we have Michigan, Michigan State, and Florida, Missouri. Two
yeah,
interconference. That's pretty sick. All right.
yeah,
Well,
it's
Michigan
pretty
State, Florida
dope.
in the Final Four. We'll get to that at the end, but we'll go ahead up to
Here,
the
can you
East.
see? Or I just need to move you on
Yeah, I'm
my.
good.
Um,
But this
okay,
is the Duke portion of the bracket. Give me Duke over, what is that, American and Mount St. Mary's, right?
I'm actually taking Mount St. Mary's
Yeah,
here.
pretty easily.
Too many ops at Duke.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
no, but we go Duke.
Hmm.
Um, I like Baylor a lot. It's the difference between like me fading my Big 12 bias or fading the SEC.
Yeah.
Mississippi State has Kanye Clary. He's redshirting. I believe he's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Virginia Beach.
Yep. Yes, sir.
But Baylor's been
I
very
like
talented.
Baylor.
Yeah, I like Baylor too. They're good in close games.
Yeah. BJ
Um,
Edgecombe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Robert Wright plus the Jeremy Roach versus Duke matchup is
Gotta
pretty
have it.
sick.
Gotta have it. Yeah.
Oregon Liberty. Now, as much as I disagree with Jerry Falwell's obsession with the pool boys,
Hmm.
I don't know if you get that reference.
I don't.
Um,
Explain it.
it's not exactly PG, but
Okay.
basically
All
the
right. We'll have
founder
to,
of
I'll have to look at it after.
but Liberty is one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country,
Yeah.
and Oregon is always Dana Altman team. They're either hot or they're not.
Hmm.
And they was it last year that they were hot, Cuisinart, or was that 2 years
Mm,
ago?
that was
He went.
last. Remember we were in Charlotte and we watched that Oregon game on the TV. We came back. Who'd they play? Oh God.
I
Insane.
have to look it up
Yeah.
because was it last year that that guy Jeremy Cuisinart made like they played
I
South Carolina and won like
Yeah. It was a 6 versus 11 South Carolina. South Carolina was like a lot of people picked them, I think. Let me see. Yeah, it was 6 for 11 South
it
Carolina.
was last
Hmm.
year.
Yeah, it was.
Jeremy and then Oregon Creighton Cuisinart went for like 40 as
Yeah,
well.
that's what it
Oh,
was.
and they played in the play-in and he was awesome too. I don't know.
Hmm.
I just don't think they get hot like that this year, and I think Liberty does.
Yeah. No, I like
Um,
Liberty a lot too. They're
yeah,
definitely an under the radar good Cinderella team that not enough people talk about.
that's what I mean. And
Hmm.
like all of the other 12, it's like Colorado State is like the actually best one. Or no,
Yeah.
UC San Diego is the actually best
Yeah.
one. Colorado State's playing a bummy team.
Yeah.
And then McNeese has like all the aura, but then
Hmm.
Liberty kind of flies below the
Yeah.
radar.
You get
Um,
overruled by the other ones.
and
Yeah.
then Akron is the fastest team in the country,
Yeah.
but they're also the shortest team in the country.
Yeah. I'm fine going Arizona.
And I do like teams that have an identity, but Arizona's scalding hot right now.
Yeah. I agree.
This is the toughest first round game in the entire bracket.
BYU VCU.
BYU VCU.
Hmm.
And I don't typically like the Mormons, but boy, can they get hot.
Yeah.
Now
Shoot
in
the
a
lights out the
bracket,
ball.
yeah. Um, in a bracket, you always want to have at least. Oh no, I messed it up.
Oh boy.
We're
There you
back.
go.
Oh, we're not. This is a
You
different
clicked the
one.
wrong bracket. Let's see. Nash Diggity.
Yeah,
Nash Doggity.
Nash Bop, and this was gonna be Nash Boo.
There you go.
But
Yeah, we're back.
um,
Anyways, Arizona,
anyway,
yep. Go on.
so BYU has a lottery pick in Agor Demon. Richie Saunders, most improved player in the Big 12. But
Mhm.
VCU's good. And VCU, can you tell me what they are like defensively?
Yeah. They're 30th overall in KenPom. Defensively, they're 23rd. Offensively, 41st. Um, Play slower, 241st tempo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and they're just solid. And their conference with George Mason in it was
Mhm.
underrated as well this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
watched the end of the Atlantic 10 championship game. It was super sick.
I think in my bracket I have I have VCU winning this game. But
Mhm.
what do you think?
I've had BYU more just because of the three-point
Yeah.
shooting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I trust in them to make shots, and I
Okay,
think
we
that
can
might
go
just do it for them.
BYU.
But then again, I'm
Um,
intrigued by that one.
this is gonna get like this might get rid of our chance to have a double digit seed in the second round, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Okay.
So this has been my upset.
Really? Wait,
This has
tell
been
me.
my upset. Okay, so
Wow.
you know how Ken Palm has the luck?
Yeah. Or
So
are they like,
Montana is statistically the luckiest team in college
wow.
basketball.
They
So
are.
I'm rocking with the vibes.
I don't hate it, really. I
And
don't.
like obviously that stat is supposed to tell you that like a team is
It's
worse than they
gonna,
actually
yeah.
are, but to
It's gonna keep
me,
up. And
yeah, to me,
Wisconsin is one of the unluckiest teams.
yeah, and,
270th.
and I also think that Wisconsin, I think Tanjay is overrated. And I
Really?
haven't watched a lot of them, but it's kind of same old, same old. Like Steven Crowell doesn't do a lot for me. They lost Chucky.
Yeah.
Sick name, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody's all over John Tanjay. And I think that would be a big upset. So that's been my upset, and I would appreciate it if you let
Oh,
me
of
pick
course.
it.
Go ahead.
Um,
Please. If you're standing behind it,
and
might as well.
yeah, and regardless, I think BYU or VCU gets past Wisconsin.
Okay. Yeah. Let's pick VCU. Let's pick
Okay.
VCU and then send them to the Sweet
Yeah.
16
Yeah.
eventually.
Okay.
Yeah.
St. Mary's, who I really
Hmm.
like.
Yeah, I like St. Mary's too. Of
And then Bama.
course.
Vanderbilt again, I'm fading the SEC a little bit. That's
Hmm.
just they've had a great season. Everybody picked them last in the SEC,
Yeah.
but and then
Good
since
run.
we don't have it yet, I think Bama is a great matchup for St. Mary's because
Hmm.
Bama's erratic. And no
Yeah.
Grant Nelson, who's like one of their veteran
How long is
presences,
he out?
likely. I don't know. He might
Okay.
play, but
Okay.
um,
I think he's gonna be back. I think they said he might be
they're
back by the first
they're
round.
high octane. Bama's high octane on offense, bad on defense, just like last year. Last year they went to the Final Four, but they didn't run into a team like St. Mary's that plays at one of the slowest tempos in the
Yeah.
entire country,
They've always
and
been
they're
so slow.
yeah, and they're one of the best defenses in the entire country. Coming off a loss to the Zags, but they beat them twice. And by the way, the Zags are an 8 seed and they're top 10 in Ken Palm.
Hmm.
And maybe top 10 in the net. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No, no.
They're
But
let me see. They're eighth in net.
and
Wow.
10th in Ken Palm,
Yeah.
it's pretty
Wow.
crazy. But
Yeah.
they also just like don't have any good wins, so it's like I get
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
But I think St. Mary's is the play here.
I like it. You talk me into
Um,
that.
at VCU, BYU, I think whoever's there makes it. If it's
Mhm.
BYU here, I probably like them to beat St. Mary's just because they're a more disciplined team.
Yeah.
Um, kind of bring your lunch pail to work, guys. Um, my bad.
On St. Mary's. They have white guys on their team. All right.
Yeah.
And so we got,
Actually, like, gosh, this whole like BYU,
yeah,
St. Mary's. This is a very Liberty. This is a very white bracket.
Duke.
Yeah, Duke's got a lot of white guys
Yeah,
this
they
year.
do. Yeah.
Um,
Anyways,
anyways,
Liberty. You mentioned them, yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Duke Baylor. I really like Duke. I buy into the hype. Cooper Flag's gonna be back.
yeah.
If not for the first round, then he will be the
They've just been
second
so
round.
dominant. Like, I'd love to see
Mhm.
Baylor win that game, like a Big 12, you know.
Yeah.
But
You also
I'll
just
obviously,
go ahead.
yeah,
Well, I was
I'll
saying you
obviously
what?
be.
You go.
You got it.
All
No, you go.
right, all right. Well, I was saying you watch Duke defensively, and you're like, yeah, this team has it. Like they can win a natty. Just the stuff they do defensively, I don't think many other teams in the country are doing, and I really like it.
Yeah.
But
When
that's what I was
KU
saying.
beat them, so that means transitive property.
There you go. Yeah.
KU beat them and Michigan State, and we have
Wow.
Michigan State in the Final Four.
Mm.
Um,
And we might have Duke.
yeah, I'd obviously be rooting for Baylor, but I don't think they get it done. And then
Mhm.
I like Arizona to stay hot.
Yeah.
And then
Duke St. Mary's.
yeah, I've been picking Arizona to
Really.
again stay hot just
Mhm.
because I like to balance out. Like I don't want to have too many. I've been having spoiler alert. There's a one seed in the Midwest bracket that I picked to win.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
I could have guessed that also.
and I don't want to have like because St. Mary's isn't beating Duke, and I
Hmm.
don't want to have three one seeds in the Final Four. But we can pick Duke for the sake
Okay.
of like I do think they're a better team than Arizona. It's just like obviously we're constructing this bracket just to show the viewers some things.
Hmm.
Uh, but you got to predict some madness in your
Of
bracket.
course. Do you
Um,
like? Do you think Arizona's a Final Four team?
yeah, I mean this path, they're only like if they run into Alabama,
Hmm.
let's say Alabama does get through,
Yeah.
then no. If they run into Wisconsin, then no. If they run into BYU, probably probably.
Okay.
St. Mary, like they're running into St. Mary's in this spot.
Yeah.
I think Arizona wins that game. I think they could be,
Hmm.
but I don't actually think that like if I'm taking the Arizona Duke game in a vacuum, I don't think Arizona necessarily wins.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
Duke's the better team, but like Arizona's playing
yeah,
hot, and
yeah.
you know,
St.
but
Mary's to the Elite Eight. I'm sure they've got some funny white guy
oh
that could
yeah,
be the
of
face of
course
this
he can
year's
be the
tournament.
guy, the low
Um,
seed white guy.
the
Yeah.
Jack Golke.
Yeah. I got it.
But we'll take Duke.
All right.
All right, Houston, obviously. This
Gonzaga.
is this is a tough one. So Gonzaga's obviously
Statistically, yeah, they're
yeah, they're
there.
statistically so good. I'd like Gonzaga's definitely the play. Made consecutive Sweet 16s, even though they won't this year.
Mhm.
But Georgia's red hot and like Georgia's fun. So I think I might have picked Georgia just because I know neither of those teams is getting past Houston. But
Yeah.
like Gonzaga, especially if you're not picking Houston to go far, that's a good upset pick just because
Yeah.
Gonzaga is so
If
underrated. So we'll
if
go Gonzaga.
Gonzaga was playing Auburn and or Duke, would you pick them to beat both those teams? And even Florida? Like if they were playing any other one seed,
Not Florida.
like
Duke
Auburn and Duke.
for sure.
Yeah.
Auburn, it's kind of a weird matchup,
Yeah.
but I'd consider it for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah. It's a tough
Um,
draw for them though.
yeah. So what's the guy's name? Amir Khan,
Yeah, I think
the
so.
manager for McNeese.
Yeah, for McNeese.
Um,
Shout out Quadir Copeland. They got
Shout
the
him
aura,
out.
man.
Shout out Will Wade. What did he do that got him fired from LSU?
Will Wade?
Yeah.
Let me see.
It was either
Um,
violations or okay, no, it was Chris Beard that was like doing something not so nice to his wife.
mhm.
And I believe it was Will Wade that was like NCAA infractions.
Said the wait. I guess payments to players is what Will Wade
Yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I don't know. McNeese is like everybody's darling. Everybody
Hmm.
loves Amir Khan, but I don't think they get it done.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. I think
It's again,
Clemson
it's like
is
one of those
solid.
upsets. Like everybody wants it,
Hmm.
but is it gonna happen? Now, High Point. Have you seen that clip of the guy with the mean mug?
I don't know, but I have to look it up.
Where it's like we not hitting that celly in the Big Two
Oh wait,
Five.
yeah.
That's from this year's High Point team,
Hmm.
and they're red hot.
It's the first ever time they made the tourney, right?
I think so, and I kind of like them because neither of these teams is getting past Clemson, so
Yeah.
it doesn't like obviously Purdue's got first team All American Braden Smith, and he's a dog.
Yeah.
But I don't know, is Fletcher Lawyer playing good this year? I
That's a
haven't
good
heard anything
question.
about him. I've heard Trey Kaufman Wren's done like an
Averaging
admirable
20.
job. Who, Trey Kaufman Wren?
Yeah. Fletcher Lawyer.
He's been hurt, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's been hurt. Let me see. How many games has he played?
But he hasn't been good either. He had like
Yeah, averaging 14. I mean, he's shooting 46 from three.
yeah,
So,
okay. So I mean
yeah,
he's
he's been
solid,
solid.
but
Yeah. But anyways,
um
I'm fine for Purdue here.
yeah, we'll go Purdue, but I've been picking High Point a lot.
Mhm.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Illinois, I think Texas and Xavier are both just pretty bad. I
Yeah, I
like
think
Trey
Emilo's
Johnson a
solid enough.
lot. It would be fun if Trey Johnson like popped off against Illinois.
Hmm.
Um, but since we've already picked 2-11s, we'll go Illinois.
Yeah.
Everybody wants Troy to win this game, but I think that Kentucky has finally turned a corner now that they have Mark Pope and not Calipari.
Yeah.
The team is more veteran heavy, and they're
Hmm.
not trying to have a letdown.
Yeah.
UCLA over Utah State because the Mountain West is just bad.
It's just not good. Yeah.
Um, but
All right.
this is the game I've given the least thought is UCLA Utah State.
Okay. And then
Um,
Tennessee.
yeah,
Shout out
go
Herbert.
Wofford though. Yeah, shout out Herbert
Yeah.
Meisenbacher. Got the Terriers winning their first round game.
Yeah.
Um,
Of
this
course.
this bracket is pretty chalk for me. I like Houston. Houston's just the best defensive team in the country, and they also have the best 3-point shooting percentage of any team in the country.
Yeah. They're
Now their
solid.
volume isn't high, but when you need a bucket,
Crier.
they're I mean
Crier's
Crier
got you.
or Uzan
Hmm.
or Jawan Roberts or I mean they've got any number of guys. Um,
Yeah.
they're very solid. Purdue's just not that good, and Clemson slows the game down to like a snail's pace.
Hmm. Yeah. Let me see
Um,
what their tempo. Yeah. 327 tempo. They're 18 tempo. Yeah. Mm.
I like Clemson a lot. The only team to beat Duke in conference play this year.
Yeah.
One of three teams, including Kansas, to beat Duke. Um,
Who else beat Duke? Clemson, KU, and who?
uh,
Let me see.
is it
It
Kentucky?
was, yeah, early on in the year. Yeah, it was Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Third game this season. Mm.
Yeah. Okay. You can go Illinois or Kentucky here. What do you think?
I'm fine with Kentucky. I'm
Yeah,
cool
I
with
think
that.
Kentucky. I think Tennessee. Again,
Mhm.
like SEC. How many SEC teams do we have making the Elite Eight?
One, two, and three,
It's
and three. It's
one. It's one, two,
only three.
and then four in the Sweet 16. Or yeah, four in the Sweet 16. That's not
Oh,
bad considering they've got
wait.
14 that make it.
Oh yeah, four in the Sweet 16. Yeah.
Um, I like Tennessee because Kentucky's beat them twice already this year,
I
and it's
really like
really
Tennessee.
hard to beat a team twice or three times in a year. And we got Houston, so nice little boring 1-2 matchup in the
Chalk.
Elite Eight there.
Yeah.
We go chalk. Houston, just because Tennessee's been inconsistent. Zakai Ziegler gets locked up because
Mm.
he's too tiny to
Yeah.
deal with Houston. And Chaz Lanier, like he relies a lot about like his length to get shots up over defenders.
Hmm.
And Houston is the best closeout team like I've ever
Yeah.
seen. I've never seen a shooter seem so wide open when they catch the ball and just not get an open look. Um,
They just do all like the little stuff. I don't know. Like they're just so
uh,
well coached and they have been for so many years.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a pretty fun little Final Four.
Yeah. In most of my brackets I've had Michigan State, Duke, and then
I've
Duke
I've
hasn't
been
done it
having
at
Michigan
all.
State, Houston.
Yeah.
Um, how about we pick Florida just
Okay. I'm fine with that.
for funsies?
Okay. I'm gonna go Florida,
Um,
Houston.
yeah, we'll go Florida, Houston.
All right.
Houston wins that game.
Yeah.
No, we'll go Florida because we won't pick either of our national champions
Okay.
to like
Yeah. We'll
actually
even
win
it
this
out.
bracket.
Yeah.
But I mean that's really anybody's guess. Duke and Houston are very different, but both great defensive teams. Houston obviously very experienced. Duke more experienced in some years, but not much.
Hmm.
Florida's
Yeah.
the most explosive team out of that group, and then Michigan State's the most consistent. So, I mean,
All
they've all
solid all
got their
around.
strengths. And we've got the score prediction is going to be 420 to 69.
There we go. Highest scoring game in the history of college basketball will happen in the Natty.
All right.
Got to name the bracket. But yeah, there it goes. Final four, Michigan
Picks
State, Florida,
from
Duke, Houston. A little bit chalky, but we had a few. We have
the
VCU making the Sweet 16, the Montana upset, iconic. But yeah, that's the takes from the Lakes 2025 bracket. We'll make a tournament challenge like we did last year, and hopefully Nash and I will not get last and second to last. That will be the goal. But yeah, games start. I guess first round games start Thursday. Enjoy the games. SDSU will not looking like they won't make the comeback. They're down 24 at half.
That would be lit though.
It would. RJ Davis 11 at halftime, 3 for 3. But yeah, we'll see. Got any final remarks pre-tourney?
I mean, yeah, just enjoy it, man. Like people take it for granted. Even if you're not a basketball fan, it's really like something special.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a reason to get emotional about sports, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
I mean, nothing even compares to this. Like seriously, it's just you just gotta sit back and like, dude, this is
it's far better than any postseason.
Oh yeah, it's not even close.
Anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
My only thing with it, and this is gonna sound weird, like obviously I pay attention to the Final Four in the national championship games.
Yeah.
But it is weird. It's the only sport where the first round is more entertaining than the championship.
That's very true, yeah. I mean, the first 2 days are like, oh my God.
It's just like, come on, man. Yeah. It doesn't get better.
And it's always, I mean, it's been sick like the past couple of years. Like last year, like there's always that one team. Like we had Oakland. 2 years ago, we had K-State and FDU and that whole K-State little baby stuff. We've had St. Peter's and Princeton, right? That was the same year. Or FDU and Princeton were the same year.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And I interviewed that Princeton guy for my iSearch.
Yeah.
That was fun times, man.
Yeah. But so I'm sure there'll be something to happen of that sort this year. You've seen a lot of like TikToks, right? Like, oh, who's going to be like, I mean, you mentioned like the white 3-point shooter is going to light it up. We're just, well, I guess we'll figure out in a couple days. But yeah, that's all I got.
But yeah, we will see you guys in the next one. Maybe we'll do like a March Madness halfway update.
Yeah.
We'll do something.
After the Sweet 16 or something.
Yeah, see you guys on the flip side.
Yeah, peace out.